Hello there and welcome. I'm Kate in the Nest, and it's time for me to start with a story. If you've been following me for a while, you would know that I began my journey on YouTube as a junk journaler, and it was a way of me getting back to health. We read so many posts now about the connection between making with our hands and a way to well-being. So I was influenced early on, and it would be 2 years ago now, um, to make with paper. I still journal, and I'm presuming I've got new people watching this, but um, even if you're not new, I think you know that I journal every day. I do gratitude and sort of a brain dump, and then I do a reflection at night as a memory keeper. And lately I have been making more and more covers for the books that I use daily in my life. So for example, I haven't shown this yet, but this is my completed memory keeper that I do at night. It's textual. It's got pieces that are very special to me, and when I hold it in my hands, I have that feeling of warmth and love and joy and texture and connection. So this is sort of a long-winded introduction to me returning to filming, as I have promised this year, a combination of both paper and fabric. It's been interesting as I've been watching others on YouTube, how many of us have done both paper and in particular slow stitching. I have been a maker and a creator all my life, but this has been a journey that has happened in this latter chapter of where I'm going in my life. So I'm going to just start with some basics and see where we finish, and hopefully just keep you entertained or interested or inspired or whatever happens. This may not be your thing, but at the start, I want to check in with how you are feeling. You may be a stitcher, a crocheter, a knitter, or a junk journaler. I think there is reason for us all to stop and reflect and say, what are we enjoying at the moment? I've been doing lots and lots of stitching videos, but I have been feeling the sense of loss of paper, sharing with you, talking away, because that's what led me there. I'm going to digress for a moment and show you something sort of quite deeply personal. I joined in Meg Journals, Meg Journals, July, Junk Journal July. I think I've got a heading here. And this literally is a sort of a story of me healing. I was not used to I wasn't a journaler at all, but because I saw people on YouTube, I gathered supplies, collected books, and started using text. And these were messages to myself. And I still, when I think about my stitching work, it is about growing, gratitude. There, I dare not do what you love. So these were messages to myself. I don't want to get too emotional, or talk to yourself like you would to someone you love. So sometimes we doubt ourselves. This was creativity. Oh gosh, this is very personal. Always remain open. I didn't feel that I had spaces to go, and that's why I thank this YouTube community so much, and the kin, for you are my dream come true, because you can probably see, dig deep, get deliberate, inspired, and going. That's by the great Brene Brown. Anyway, the thing is, I still think there's a place for the texture and the messages of journals only, and we don't have to say, what are you doing it for? This one, my mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive. And that was by Maya Angelou. I was only surviving at that point, barely surviving actually. So discover. So I do love the neutrals and even directions, even though I've tried in many times to go more colourful. It wasn't coming easy to me. But that is a bit of a story of my journey just in 1 month in July. But there's so many things that I still love. Okay, what's that got to do with this? I've been cleaning up and I thought I'm going to journal and I'm going to share it with all you lovely people. However, I went to gather my bits and pieces, always a nest. I bought 2 little pieces of parchment, very old, back from India, and I would love that to be used in this section. A brand new year, the tree, stylized, but so simple and so powerful. I picked up a book, and this one is black and white. I would have got it from a thrift store. It's in beautiful condition. And if you're just starting out with journaling, I do have a bit of a formula that I think can start people off, and that's probably to go pretty simple and pretty basic. So I've got that. I want to do something with that. This little card of buttons keeps jumping all over the nest, and I think it's time that I embrace buttons, not on my slow stitch as such, but with paper. I've got some little bits of silk. I've got a collection of newspaper, and Zoe from the Green Door, actually, I think this is the one she got me from Nelson, that I've used a few times, and some manuscript. Oh, I can't begin to tell you how much you mean to me. Oh, my world would end if ever we were here. That's beautiful writing. I love text. I just fall for text. And some of my familiar blanket and some neutral bits of fabric. So my idea is to do a fabric and paper journal that I would like to use, and seeing I'm starting that, I am going to share it with you. So where do I start? Well, I had a major reason not to do this video because, number one, I couldn't find my basics, so that is a good reason to keep working on my nest. But a ruler, a pair of scissors. I like double-sided tape. This one has come apart, but I find that handy. And then I only have a little one, a little chopper-upper for chopping. I tear paper mostly. And what else? I use glue sticks. Do you think I could find one glue stick that wasn't dried up? Because Kate, of course, left the lid on over the lid off by the break. So I've come up with some clear gum. I don't particularly like that, but I also have some tacky craft glue, and usually by next time I'll have a glue stick with me. And then I'll go to them later. So there are so many wonderful YouTubers out there who alter books, who make book covers, and I adore watching them. I'm, as in my stitching, an eclectic, and I make it up as I go. But I like this book. I like this book cover. I like the width of the spine, and I like that it's called the Modern World Encyclopedia. it's in good condition, but I want to take the innards out of the book and use them as resources for inside the journal, so that I can fill this up with a combination of fabric and paper pages, something I haven't done. I also, in my basic kit, have a great little orange knife that I usually use for splitting the covers off the books. I can't find that, so I've got an old kitchen knife. So, as I said, you can find many more experts, but the thing to do is, if you want to use the cover in some way, and I've been watching K3N, who's doing an A to Z journal, and she just inspires me, and she reminds us, if we're looking for a book to use the cover of, make sure that you get one where there's a gap in the spine here, because it means that this part, the pages, will come out easily. Oh, there's a bookmark there. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to start off. I better make sure I'm sort of in the right spot. A little bit out of practice. And I've moved everything. So we're going to, and be careful in this, but as I said, a sharper knife is much better. But what we're doing is just splitting the book cover from the spine. Now, that's all wonky because I've used a rough knife, but personally I like that, but I also won't be worrying about it because it will be covered over. So I did that one as an experiment, and let's hope this one is easier and I might be able to do it neater. So we just find the spot and pull it down like that. So we're left with the cover. This one, the spine, which I think will be plenty for this little book, can't even read the numbers, is about 4.5, 5 centimetres across there. And we're not going to go way ahead too far today, but just conceptually. So that leaves us with the actual spine of the book, and we could alter that, or as I said, use it as source pages. I do like the first papers. They've got a special name, and sometimes you can leave them on the cover, but I'm just going to pull them out like that, and I'm going to stay with the neutrals and the, not black and white, but neutrals and natural colours, what I call vintage. So let's take that page there. You could be harvesting whole sections of this. Let's just see if there's anything else that, let's see, an illustration like that. London, Old St Paul's, whether we know about it or not. I like that. A chained library in Dorset. You can see this paper is old and it's tearing, which I like, but I will neaten that up in a minute. And let's see if there's anything else that jumps out. So things that we can use in our journal. Oh God, look at that. I should give that to my husband. I like the faces, that's what I was first attracted to. And this one's good because it's got a mixture of illustrations, diagrams, a hermit crab. Oh, that's heraldry. So if we wanted, we could pull this whole little section out. And that was meant to be embroidered English lace in the middle and heraldry. Okay, so I've collected so far a lot of paper, a cover, and then with it, I just thought I would show you where I would start with my paper. Oh, this is a heavy tray. So sometimes I have baking days, and my husband will say, "What are you doing?" And I'll say, "I'm cooking today," or baking. But what I do is bake paper. So in here I have, and you can see on these ones that I only soaked one side, not the other, because that can give opportunity. Sometimes it comes out as both. And then when I get to the bottom of those, here's some more well done ones. And then a collection of cardstock. I used to look out for these on special at Spotlight or Officeworks. A variety. This is thin, tears off. This is quite thick. And these are A5s ready to go that you can just fold or cut or do whatever. I'll hold that out. So cardstock, tea dyed paper, and then half size tea dyed paper, just sort of ready to go. So when I saw all of that, I thought, there's no excuse, Kate, you mightn't have all your bits, but you've got enough. And they instantly go with that and these. So just a beginning. Then I have collected, my favourites are a combination of manuscript that you can buy at thrift stores, and this is my own. I went to the conservatorium, and in those days you used to have a book at home where you would be you'd scribble all over. You'd have a good book for performances and lessons, and then you'd scribble. So that is, and my sister had one too, so we've gradually been harvesting our own books. But for me, that's a Bach fugue and number 18, and I can either take it off or chop it up. And then various cover pages or text. That's some of my echo dyed paper, which I would like to do again. And then I started with Rachel from Roxy Creations Italian papers, and I've nearly used all of those up. I was gifted by the beautiful Jenny a collection of absolutely vintage papers and books. And then when I was in New Zealand last year, there I came across this incredible set of vintage papers. Now I have scanned some of these, but I do like in my work to use the originals, because again, like our scraps and our forwarded pieces of fabric, it is beautiful. There we are. That's the actual original of that hotel roster, whatever book it was, signing book. And then these are all letters, etc. So there we are. That's the paper bit. And I've shown you an idea for the fabric. So what are we going to do this afternoon? And I haven't got great bits and pieces like my glue stick. Beautiful. That'll be at the front. So I suppose looking forward, I am going to make a whole set of signatures, 3 signatures. Now, the easy way, and I didn't know a lot of things when I first started, is if I show you, this is my traveler's journal. A signature is like a book within the cover. So this is my monthly, this is my weekly, and then I have one here which is just my my scribble. So I have 3 books within here, and a place for collecting stickers and bits. So if you imagine, this is the journal that we're going to make, except we're going to have a hard cover and a spine. And when I talk about signatures, they are going to be the 3 separate books that live inside of it. Now, when we journal, we don't tend to put as many pages as, you know, a traveler's company, and it, depending on the size, we would work that out. So let's just go fishing. And do some folding, because these are A4 letter size. The easiest way would be for me to have found a book that was letter size, and then that would just go in straight, so it's an A5. I did do document journals for a while, but in terms of writing and using fabric, I prefer this size. So let's just work out and use this as a template. So the book is about in there, wide, and we want it to sort of stay within this brown. I'm just standing up to make sure that, yeah, I've probably been a bit on the bottom, but that is roughly the size of our signatures that will go in this book. So let's start with some pages that will go in there, and then next time, because I want to use some fabric pages as well, so paper and fabric, let's use that as one thing I like doing is wearing, I creased this before, not very well, so rather than waste it, maybe a page like that. So let's go 3 plainish. Let's try different ways. So we've got one of these. You may like to measure. really. I'm just showing you have to find out what you like doing. It's about 1 centimetre off there. Let's just go 12. And it doesn't matter that your pages, well, in my style, end up different widths and heights. It adds to the interest. Let's go like that. And have a small one here. So theoretically, that could be one paper signature with three pages, and then we will put some fabric in it. I could, if I wanted to, fold that, and like that we might put that on to make that front and back interesting. And then let's get some print. It's got some purple on it, which I don't particularly want, but I like that lettering there. Let's hold up this bottom. Like that. So imagining that this could, you might like to make pages separately. I like to do it holistically. So something like that would stick out. I need to strengthen this and back it. And I might actually cut that bit off, and then I want to fold this in so that we can have a fold out bit. Here we are. So we've got manuscript plain, vintage text plain, something else in here. And for the moment, it might be this heraldry page, which I will add on to something. And then we always look for something like a double spread, very interesting in the center. I've got the pattern for my swan here. So even something like that would add a bit of colour. It's looking way too new, so we can tea stain that at some point. So oh, where's my manuscript gone? Things that disappear. Can you please tell me where you saw that go? Is it that one? Yes. The reason I don't like this glue particularly is I put too much out. So we're just going to live with that for the moment. That could become a tuck. So I haven't actually put that down yet. It's a bit too much white showing for me there. Just trim that way. Over here on the back, let's see, that could be a page if I mended it or put something else in there. So let's try that option. fabric. These books. See, paper is so, I find, easy to be creative with, and you just build the picture up. Here we are, starting to build a signature with interest. I'll put that there. These go into my little scrap nest, just like we have scraps with our paper, with our fabric, and I will often stitch them together. Now, what are we going to do with our fabric? Of course, we've got a great textile cover to do at some point. So far, I've got this muslin with a little bit of the frill there. I love the texture. This Battenberg always does so well, and we see many people make their journals and feature this stitched down. I've also got some brocade here with a seam on it. And it's not the right shape, but I'm thinking it's something like that. It's thick, and let's, for the moment, I haven't got great stitchy scissors here. I'll just roughly So it's funny doing a video on a Tuesday. When I started out, I did most of my videos on a Monday and Tuesday, and then gradually on a Wednesday went to stitching, because I was itching to stitch literally in my journals. And I know some of you have been with me from that very beginning, so thank you immensely. Whereas now I tend to film on the weekend and have Monday and Tuesday as my weekend. So before we know it, this is going to fill up. Of course, we have to have a spine in there. I like that idea. Let's just gather some snippets. Always crocheting. I think crocheting, it's interesting. I find crocheting and paper in my work go together sometimes more easily than in fabric. That is a beautiful piece. All these motifs that I won't get it out now, but we've got distress ink and we can colour them up. Also with the gouache. A bit of history there. And sometimes it can be as easy as either gluing or stitching. And I might do a little bit more with my machine in this one. got Heralds, we've got Encyclopedia. I'll take the gold one out. What did I like in here? I liked this. So that's something. They were together. I'm just looking at the natural line down here without too much fuss. We could just fold that somewhere like that and make that a pocket. Get the double-sided tape out. This signals the end of the video will come because I'll have sticky fingers before you know it. I mean, why would the inside of the tape come out? Only in my nest. That's what you'd be thinking. Okay, there. And now it's always a challenge to get the tape off. I found these scissors. I've been missing them there. Excuse me. They're the little Karen Buckley beautiful scissors. I was missing them and I found them in my son's room yesterday. This morning. So they're back in here. Very small writing on them. Pull that back. Put that there. Now that can be decorated. Not with pink, but you know, you can go to your supplies. I'll find something else like that. I actually found Rachel's owl and I thought, oh, won't erase all of that on it, but that can come in this journal. And so many other bits. So it's a muddly one. And you know I'm not step by step, but I think that gives you an idea of what I'm going to be working on. And if you're at a loss with your stitching, or you're a journaler that is feeling the itch to get back, I hope you'll join all of us who make journals. But yeah, Kate in the Nest is going to be back because it's like an anniversary time. So there's the signature, there's a cover, there's some fabrics, some collections, an owl, and all sorts of bits that we can put together and have fun journaling. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope there's been something that has kept you entertained while you've been working on your own creations. Just a reminder, tea and paper go so well together. All right, until next time, thank you for joining me, and yeah, take care and keep well. Bye.